Is Serva back?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright. So for the sake of brevity, and because I don't want to roll 11 rolls anymore, we're gonna skip ahead a little.
Can I take the soul stone out of the thing? Add it to my trophy collection.
Yes, let me get to that. So, you guys you defeat the creature, and you watch its body, as I said, just sort of ooze into a pool around you, leaving all of the not liquid but solid components. There we go, brain working. The solid components in the sand above, covered in this blue, gross ooze stuff. You can hear the sound of battle from the Ogluth and the Troglodytes, but in the next 10-20 minutes, the sound dies away. Leader, after helping you defeat the bone golem, he nods at each of you and then runs off to chase his people. In the meantime, and during that 10-20 minutes, what would you like to do?
Get the soul shard. I'm racing Harmony for it.
You were scared of the last one.
Yeah, but this time I want to destroy it, not let you have it. Or rather, appropriate it for Imperial use. So,
I mean, if you guys want, you can roll initiative.
I mean, I'm not gonna
hold-
run to it. So if he's running to destroy it, then he's gonna.
You're still holding Vinda, remember?
yeah, I'm holding Vinda, and Vinda is probably floating now because she just killed a big thing.
She's collapsed in exhausted relief, as I said.
So yeah, she's in your palms.
Okay, then I would have handed her off to Curiosity and gone looking for the soul shard.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say Aerie would probably beat me there.
Okay. So yeah, Aerie, you find it in the very center of the sludge, and it is just covered in the stuff. And as you go to pick it up, you realize that the sludge is rather sticky, surprisingly. It's got the consistency of oil and the stickiness of honey together. But you do find a palm-sized shard of soul gem, very similar to the other bone golems. And like the other ones, it is completely inert. Doesn't seem to have any sort of magic remaining.
Oh, that's alright. I will pick it up and slide it into one of my pockets.
Okay, go ahead and make a note of that. And remember to make a note of it on your character sheet so that I can see what everyone's inventory is. Alright, anything else? You have about 20 minutes.
I'd like to look to see if there's any arrows lying around.
Did you keep track of how many you shot?
5.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was just about to say, I think 1 or 2 of them went into the storm, so they would be gone. So how about you roll 1d4? Bazak, did you want to do the same?
No, they're covered in... All of mine went straight into that, and they're covered in the nasty crud. I don't want to touch that.
Okay. Probably a good idea.
And I got all the bolts for free, so... Yeah,
True.
I'm fine. They were free bolts.
The only other thing I would do is I would look for any weapons that might have been left over from somebody who got eaten by the creature, and that'd be about it. Making sure that they're not icky. He would definitely try to make sure that they were at least cleaned or something of that nature.
Gorm just sits there, still prone in the exact same spot he's been prone the entire time, looking around for anything that he may need to shoot.
Curiosity goes around and heals everyone. Except for Vinda, because he already healed her.
And Gorm, because Gorm hasn't been
You
hurt.
can't heal me again. But I don't know how that works.
Not with the regular healing. Until you get a new injury. Unless I used a different spell to heal you. Which if Vinda requested additional healing, Curiosity would do it.
I don't know. So she's pretty out of it right now. She's just just quietly trying to recover from that.
Okay.
I rolled a 3, and then in the meantime as well, I go look to find Jeffrey.
Okay. So you picked up 3 arrows that seem to be still in working order. And then you find Jeffrey kind of huddled away behind a nearby rock, just sort of like a dog licking the bloody wounds, and he's got a couple. He looks pretty banged up.
Did he gain anything back from licking his wounds, or no?
I mean, it's more just to kind of...
Just soothing.
Yeah.
10-4.
Ari, what are you rolling for?
Just a general search to see if there's any weapons of war or armor that might be wearable, maybe after a wash or two.
Okay. You do. As you're looking through, there's not a lot besides bones. As you're looking through, it would be impressive, the amount of different types of bones in here, if it didn't mean that this creature has killed a lot of people. You see smaller bones, you see bigger bones, you see what look to be child-sized skulls, others that are much larger, more like Azamar-sized, and it's just basically a historical record of everything it's ever killed, and then you're not certain if it either consumed them or used them to repair itself or create itself. But in the midst of the muck, you do notice a small glass vial that seems to be glowing with a yellowish energy, and it's covered in the goo. But you only notice it as you're looking through, and it's just a little light yellow pulsating glow coming from underneath.
Okay, something like that I will reach in and get with my offhand so that, I can still shake people's hands and whatnot, but still getting the item.
Okay. It's nasty. It's covered in goop. But it just seems to be a glass vial. And looking at it, it looks like a potion of some kind.
Okay, yeah, that's why I reached in with my offhand, my left hand instead. That way I can still greet people, but, they can shake my hand if they want, but not necessarily my offhand.
Okay. Okay, should be in your inventory now.
Okay.
All right, who else was doing things?
I'd like to search around and see if there's any money either on the bodies or if the last boss had a pouch of some sort.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception searching roll.
I'm going to use the healing touch spell to give Vinda some additional healing, so she gets 15 more health.
You do actually find a little bit of coin. You, between some pouches and a few loose change, you actually managed to find 80 silver pieces.
So, whenever the Trogs eventually show up, Gorm's gonna get up and start searching over the battlefield to search for hints of where these creatures might have come from and any missed shinies.
Yeah, as soon as curiosity heals me, Harmony's gonna go check the secret entrance to make sure nothing got in there.
Okay.
Also, since we're resting for 5 minutes after combat, everybody can get 5 plus their constitution plus their level in health.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, but curiosity beat me to it, so.
Okay. Bezak, go ahead and roll a searching test.
Okay. Ooh, stunt points. And I'm still on the exploration stunt page as well.
On the dead Ogoluth, there's nothing. These creatures have nothing but their claws and teeth. They don't even really wear clothes. But there were a group of dead troglodytes, about a dozen of them. Actually more, because each one's ripped. So yeah, there are several dead troglodytes. Maybe about 20 or so. And you find on each of them, let me roll.
Oh, I can immediately make another perception test at no additional cost and time or resources to discover more information about my surroundings.
You find 15 unbroken two-handed spears. And 59 unbroken throwing spears. Just about then they're just strewn about the battlefield. And these are rusted over, semi-well kept troglodyte spears.
You said 59?
Yep, there's 59 that seem salvageable. They're just throwing spears. They're like little darts, basically.
So I want to use that makes me run wonder, so I can do another perception test at no additional cost, time, or resources. Happens at the same time.
Okay.
And I
Use
want
a
to
different focus though.
divide the 80 silver pieces and give each person part of it. So I calculated that's 13 silver pieces apiece.
Okay. What do you want to do, Baysack? Different focus?
Yeah. So I want to see if there's anything particular that looks interesting.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Whatever focus you like. And also you can take your you guys can go ahead and divide the silver. Okay. In searching the trogs, you also find 100 silver pieces between them all. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do?
Oh, should I roll perception to check the secret entrance?
Yeah. Secret entrance seems untouched.
Yeah.
So I want to sort of just start trying to follow and look. I want to look closer at the corpses of the demons and stuff and see if there's any evidence like on them that may clue into as where they came from. Anything out of the ordinary.
I mean, you've been looking through them, as you've been looking for things. They're definitely otherworldly. They don't really... There's nothing natural about them. They seem as though wherever they come from, it's nowhere near here. But as far as any other sort of physical indication, no, not really. They're very strange looking creatures. They kind of remind you of a goblin a little bit, just more in their sort of their posture and their short stature. But they don't, you're not really certain where they come from.
Oh well, I guess I will go back.
I'd like to try to heal Jeffrey.
Okay. Okay, so as you guys heal your wounds, go through the bodies, loot the corpses, as it were, eventually the troglodytes return, though fewer of them left. But they are marching back towards you all with leader and the chief in front of them. Though they seem to slow down a bit to keep up with chief, eventually they approach you. To which leader comes up to you all and gives you a right arm salute and stands a little bit taller. And Chief Ogilith gives you a little bit of a nod and a wave and says, "You all have done well. Drug, thank you for your help, as I'm sure you thank Trog."
Yes, indeed. We do thank you very much for your assistance here. We could not have been able to survive it without you.
Yes, your prowess on the battlefield was quite impressive. There's no way that we could have withstood the attack without you.
I am not certain we would have destroyed their creature on our own, so Trog must thank you as well. You all seem very gifted. I would not be surprised if you accomplished more and Trog heroed you soon.
Thank you. Do any of your people require healing that I might be able to provide?
Trog took many losses and Trog are hurt. But Trog will be fine. Trog have healers of our own. You should stay. You will need your own. But Trogs should leave now. Though we have helped, we should return. Let people see what we did for them. Then we can return. You'll be certain to make sure that Zagahta keep promise, yes?
That we shall.
Don't worry, we'll definitely make sure they keep their promise.
Good, good. Chief, no. Chief, no, you are very good. But now, Leader and I must return, must go home. He gives you each a nod and a bow.
Ari will give him a full Imperial bow.
He doesn't really seem to know what the significance of that is, but he does nod at you respectfully.
I figured as much, but must pay respects where respects are due.
He then starts heading back, and you see as he heads back towards his people, a sort of a makeshift wooden throne to carry Chief on is being prepped. You hadn't noticed that this stuff was on them before, but they quickly whip it out and put it together, and you watch as Chief walks up and sits in the little wooden chair, and several of the Trogs lift it up and begin to get ready to leave. As they do this, however, Leader, who's still standing there, he looks at you, Airy and Bramble, and Harmony, and says, "You strong, like Trog, like Leader. Ever need Leader for fight? Leader ready. Leader strong, see?" He once again bow flexes his arms at you. The one, of course, that he does, though, you can see is missing several scales and has a giant scar up his arm that, fortunately, curiosity heals. And you, he turns to you, Curiosity. Angel Man, maybe head not work right, but magic work right. And he bows in salute to you.
Harmony grins.
Thank you.
Yes, my dear leader. We shall see if we cannot continue our journey so as to see if there's any way to fix his head. It will lead us to many adventures, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, you need help. You ask for a leader. And then he kind of looks back at his tribe, and he leans in like he's whispering a secret to you. He says, you ask for Leader Gilax.
Of course, Leader Gilax.
With a final salute, he says, "Well, Trog, now leave. Trog, see you on the other side." And then he turns his heel and he starts trekking back with his fellow Trogs. Gorm, you return back to the city ahead of them, but not too far ahead. And as you do, you are met heartily by the captain, as well as several of his guards who were up on the wall. And there's cheers and laughter and well done, woo! As you enter and hail the hero, and as your company, your party also comes in, they get the same cheers and hails. And even Captain Wayron, not quite as grumpy towards you, and he says, "Well, I guess I can't complain. Well done, everyone. Don't think we would have survived that on our own, so we have a lot to thank you for." Says that to you, Gorm.
Oh. Gorm just sort of grunts and nods at him.
And as the rest of your party comes in, he says, "I think your drinks were probably covered for a while."
Well, we wouldn't even have known about the attack if it weren't for the Trogs.
There's a sort of reluctant admittance in his face as he kind of sighs. "Well, I still say that they were doing that to preserve themselves, but you aren't wrong." Anyway, the mayor said that if you survived, let's head up her way. I think she wants to speak to you all.
Alright, we shall do so. Do you know where Tila is?
Tila? She kind of disappeared when the fighting started. She's probably at her shop, I would imagine. She seemed kind of bored with everything that was going on. I tell you, I've known that woman for 20 years now, and she still baffles me. It must be an elf thing, I guess.
What is, Captain Werun?
Where is he?
No, what is he? What race?
He's human.
Oh, he's human? Okay, yeah. Oh, very much so. It can be elvish. Can be an elvish thing, and Ari will then pull his hood back up over his head, covering his ears, as he stands like another 1.10 taller than the captain.
I mean, he's surrounded by Azamar, so it's not like he doesn't know what you are.
Yeah. But again, he was going to cover up his ears anyways. He was out in full display. It's now time to hide.
Yes. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never met another high elf before, so who knows. Anyway, yeah, if you're looking for her, you could probably find her at her shop.
Alright, thank you very much, Captain. Good day. And one more thing. Do you know where we can clean up? Just a little bit. And Ari will hold up his left hand.
Yeah, you didn't need to. We can smell you from here.
I figured as much.
Crimson Force Tavern, they've got baths.
Alright then. Did the mayor expect us there expect her at her office immediately, or?
I've already sent a message that you guys survived. Just head there when you can.
Alright. In that case, do we wish to clean up?
I would recommend it. She is a nice lady, but she is rather delicate.
Well, that is true. That is true. Alright. In that case, we shall see about cleaning up and visiting Tila real quick, and then we'll see the mayor. If that is alright with everyone else, Lights Arsenal.
Yeah, I think we need that.
Yes, Vinda, we do need to see about fixing, getting you a change of clothes. Blood red is not your color.
She looks down. Yeah, no, it isn't.
We'll just be careful not to get caught up in some sort of celebration at the tavern so we can actually get something done.
Of course, of course. It's not time to celebrate yet. That can come after, in a little while.
More like after I have Laura's head on a platter. Then we can celebrate.
That, my dear friend, sounds like a plan.
Alright, so do you go to Tila's shop first?
No, clean up first.
So you go to the Crimson Force Tavern, and as predicted, you are met with several cheers and offers of free beer. You spend probably 3 hours there. Not intentionally, just it takes a while for all of you to be clean, and that's in the midst of people wanting to praise you, buy you beers, ask you questions, all that. But eventually you do get cleaned up and dressed and ready.
Wait, can I ask someone to get me some fermented goat milk instead of beer?
I would second that. I would prefer the milk.
Sure, yeah. You guys are given whatever you want for free.
I
Okay,
don't
cool.
imagine.
I give it to Rafi.
He drinks it up gratefully, and then stumbles around the tavern for a while.
I don't imagine Gorm and Olav really need to clean up.
No, Olav actually has been, and after speaking with him, you find that Olav actually did a lot to help with the city, as there was a problem in the sewers. They found a few Ogoluth who tried to come in through the sewer grates, but Olav and a few soldiers managed to stop them.
Oh, that's good.
After that, you guys head to Tila's, and I assume you're going there to ask her about the potion.
Yes.
Hello, flaming sword.
That too.
And message gem that only I can touch.
Gorm is going, after all that is done, to offer the vial of that creature's blood.
Okay, so it sounds like we got a few things. We might roleplay this then.
Yep.
Okay, well, on the way there, while they're walking, Curiosity just says, "What did you guys all think of Leader? I think that he would make a really fun grandfather. I wish it would be cool if he was my grandfather. And he could use guardian magic. That was very interesting."
Leader or chief?
Oh, chief. I meant chief. Did I say leader? I meant chief.
Yes, you said leader. But
Okay, just pretend I said chief.
no.
It's okay if Curiosity misspeaks.
Yeah, that actually makes it funnier.
Especially Curiosity of all people, man. He seems like the sort who just starts talking.
This is true.
You want Leader to be your grandfather?
No, chief.
You said leader.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did.
Well, everybody needs a crazy grandfather, I guess, instead of crazy uncle. I don't know. Is that a thing here?
I already have a crazy uncle. That's you.
Hey, I'm not your uncle, so... And who are you calling crazy?
I'm not sure about the crazy grandfather. I didn't have one, but crazy uncle? You could do worse.
So, do we tell anybody that they might send another attack since we didn't actually kill anybody that had anything to do with the attack? Really?
That, I do believe, is why we are going to visit the mayor.
It's weird that Captain wasn't going to be at that meeting. Maybe she doesn't realize it either. That's gonna be a fun meeting.
Of course.
But yeah, Chief and Leader both had guardian magic, and Chief's at least that was master level.
Oh, so you know his that particular level of skill casting or of spell casting. Interesting.
I wonder where they learned it from.
Wherever they didn't learn battle tactics.
Curiosity chuckles.
But that's all right. It works in a fashion.
Alright. As you finish up your conversation, you approach the familiar door to most of you except Bramble. Bramble, you come across, as you're traveling through Zagahta for the first time, you're walking through these streets and it's very bland to you. You come from a land full of color and vibrant plants and just beauty beyond measure, and everything here is just tan sandstone, tan streets. It's all the same. The only variety in color is the few tapestries that make sort of makeshift roofs along the pathways. All except for this one building, which stands on a corner street, all on its own, and you see what look to be strange apparatus coming from the roof. You see what looks to be a mini tower, and each wall about this small little cottage is a different color. One is blue, one is purple, another is red, and another is yellow. The door itself is a bright purple. The sign is made out in beautiful calligraphy that says Tila's Potion Shop, mirror image. And your party opens the door and you enter into the potion shop, and you are greeted with and as much as colorful and interesting as the outside of the building is, you are greeted with an even more elaborate interior. There are potion bottles strewn about in different cases. There are stacks of books in little cubby, short, beautiful wood-covered bookshelves. You see what looks to be a vat of some kind where maybe potions are made. It very much reminds you of your own father's market or potion store, although it's much more elaborate. I mean, you can tell, just being familiar with this stuff, many of the things in here are either from faraway places or they're very expensive.
As I walk in, my heart starts to just beat, and I have a smile on my face. And everybody can kind of notice that this makes me feel happy.
As you walk in, you see sitting in a bright yellow chair is the same familiar woman who badgered you a bit at the front of the door in her very beautiful velvet blue dress, reading a book of some kind. And she's just calmly turning through the pages.
Ah, there you are. My dear, I have need of your services real quick.
She looks up from the book. Ah, you survived. I knew you would. I wasn't terribly worried.
Oh, I figured as much.
You all strike me as particular individuals. So, what can I help you with?
With this, and he will produce the golden liquid potion vial from his cloak, and you can tell me what this is, particularly what are its properties.
Ah, indeed. And you see her eyes light up slightly, and she puts her book down on the armchair, and she almost seems to glide towards you as you are standing on the other side of the counter, and she takes it from your hand, and she holds it there, and her eyes flash a bright violet for a moment, and then the flash goes away. Ah, this is a fun potion.
I figure it would be. Would you care to share its secrets with me?
Of course, it is yours. This is a potion of enlarged person. For 1 hour, whoever ingests this will double their own height and multiply their weight by 8. This will make you very, very large if you ever are in need of it. It would be, I can see some quite entertaining uses for it, but I would be careful, as someone who has the ability to dispel magic could put you back to your normal size.
Yes, I figure as much. Well, that it will come in handy, though. I seem to be collecting a few of these. They will be, or a few potions. These should come in handy in the future, anyways.
Certainly, I'm sure you'll find a use for it. I've only made a few of those myself. They're very rare.
I imagine they are. Something like that is... I've not heard of many, at least where I'm from, but I can think of a few uses already.
Good, I'm glad. Is there anything else you guys require?
How familiar are you with the djinn?
I've heard of them, but I've never quite had the pleasure of meeting them.
Yeah, well, you probably won't be able to help me figure this out, but you found a dead one on our travels. And there's, I don't know, I seem to have some sort of connection to him, because the sword that he had is only responds when I'm holding it. And I also have this gem that has a message on it, but only I can see it's like a vision, but only I can see it. If someone else holds it, they can't see it. I don't know if that's a djinn magic of some sort or just something else that maybe you would know about.
Well, let me see. If it's enchanted in some way, I can see it.
I'll pull out the stone first.
She takes it in her hand, and she pulls out a small molecule, which you've never seen her have before, but it's attached to her belt, and she picks it up and puts it on to one of her eyes as she examines the gem. And again, you see that purple flash of her eye come and go. Well, I can't tell you, my dear sir, why this responds to you and you alone. I can tell you, however, that whatever enchantment it once had on it, or perhaps still seems to have, it's difficult to tell. I can't quite get its magic to come out for me. I can tell you that it is blood magic. She hands the gem back to you.
Do I see the vision again?
Yep.
Okay, fun.
So there's like a full minute while you guys you all watch as he gets the gem back and he just stares at it. And then a minute later puts it back in his pocket.
I really need to stop handing this thing to people. Sorry, blood magic? I'm not really familiar with that.
Oh, well, there's two different kinds of blood magic. There's one that is particularly evil, using your own blood to cause curses, that sort of thing. Using other people's blood to curse them, create disastrous diseases, magical diseases. It's an awful, awful kind of magic. However, there's also a less evil form of blood magic. Well, more like a neutral form. It's a kind of magic which ties activation of an item or some use of it to a person's blood or lineage. In this case, I can't tell you what the blood relation would be. It could be anything. It could be a family tie. It could be a racial tie. It could even be a sort of, a group tie. Like, say, a guild used all their blood to tie a specific item to the only people within the guild to use it. But I believe that this gem is of the neutral kind. For some reason, it only responds to a certain type of people with a certain type of blood.
Well, it's not just tied to gloam links because it doesn't work for curiosity. Anyway, maybe the sword is the same way. But it has some other magic that's just activated when I touch it. But here, I'll pull it out.
She takes it, and she does the same thing as she did the other one, using the molecule. I'm afraid, lad, it is just as mysterious. It seems to be tied in the same way.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me more about what the magic in it is? Because, I mean, it broke when I used it to seal a rift thing, but I don't know. I was thinking about seeing if I could repair it somehow, but since it's magic, I'm not sure I know how to do that.
Well, in order to repair items of a magical nature, you not only need a blacksmith to physically replace the blade, but you will also need someone who's gifted in the magic that it was used to create it. You say you found it on a djinn?
Yep.
Then it's likely you'll need a djinn to fix it, and a djinn who was particularly familiar with the crafting of this type of blade.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Well, thanks.
As far as the actual magic is concerned within it, I don't detect evil. In fact, it's the opposite. This seems like it's very strongly tied to the light, almost holy in its design. That might explain why it was able to destroy this rift thing you're speaking of, although it would damage the blade, as it is not a very powerful weapon. As far as powerful weapons that are heavily enchanted are concerned, it seems like it's more of a basic sort of enchantment, but specifically tied for a specific purpose, to which, of course, like I have said, I can't exactly explain.
Well, thanks anyway. That was slightly more information than I had before, so thanks.
Are there other more famous weapons that you know of besides these basic weapons that are famed for their enchantments and fighting back evil?
Oh, yes, of course. I believe at the end of the Crimson Force's adventuring career, they each possessed very powerful weapons that are famous, almost as famous as the characters themselves. And then there are, of course, heroes who fought in the different wars, the Shadowsoul Wars, the War of the Four Elves. I believe there were even a few weapons crafted during the Blood Red Rose Wars, which were of particular interest and used to help eventually seal her. But those are the kinds of weapons you only find in ancient tombs, or they're specifically crafted for you by very powerful individuals who have a lot of resources. Well, so as it seems that I have now stunned you all into silence, was there anything else you need me to identify?
No, I do believe that was it, my dear. Thank you very much for enlightening us.
But of course, know that you can always come to me when you need something. I am happy to help. I like being a part of stories, and I tell you, I see a great story in your guys' potential.
Oh, but of course. We'll have to have it recorded down so that it becomes part of the college's customary tales, and hopefully not a cautionary tale told in the basic class, but more of the "this is how you do things" kind of thing.
I'm partial to romantic stories myself. Who knows, perhaps you'll be saviors of the world. That would be quite an interesting tale. I'm reading one right now of some interesting individuals, but I can tell it's fiction. The characters are not quite as real or well-dimensioned as real-life tales are. The Rod College does have some very interesting tales of real people, and they are far more entertaining. I hope to find yours on a bookshelf somewhere.
The what college?
The Bard's College.
Where is that?
Where's that again, Zeri?
There are several locations, but the biggest college is in Quester. Quester.
The largest one you'll find in Quester. I didn't go to that one, but or that specific one, but closer. I was nearby, though.
They are responsible for our history. They make sure that the people who do great deeds, that their songs are continued to be sung long after their deaths, and that their stories are on every bookshelf in every town. There are, of course, the more historical accounts that are told that are more accurate, but who would read those? They're quite boring.
Oh, but of course, a little poetic license is always good for the story and for the soul.
Unless you're trying
for
to
the
figure out
pocketbook.
something that happened, then it's less ideal.
Well, true, but
Well, for that, there are guilds of historians who are tediously detailed.
very true.
Speaking of tedious, I believe we're supposed to be paying the mayor a visit.
Of course.
More meetings. But thanks again, Tila.
Of course, you are most certainly welcome.
As everyone else starts filtering out, then Goran will sort of stay behind and then offer and walk up to her.
Yes, what can I do for you, Gorm?
I collected something with the empty bottle of the potion you gave me. Incidentally, it saved a man's life. And then Gorm sort of takes it and holds it out. I found we killed a large creature. I thought its blood might be useful. Do you think there's any value in it?
Is this
And then I described the giant bat.
She takes the vial from you and looks at the sort of black, oozy, it's like almost a black on the tinge of burgundy red color to it, and it kind of, as she swirls it around in the vial, it kind of sticks as it moves. Well, it is certainly one of the most disgusting specimens I have seen in quite some time. Give me a moment. And she goes over to her potion vat, and she places the vial on a little pedestal. And then using some sort of apparatus you've never seen, nor do you even have the beginnings of understanding. She seems to kind of perform magic on it of some sort, although it's completely foreign to you, as yellow and purple lights sweep over the vial. And she presses a few buttons and an apparatus spins, and then you see that the vial itself begins to spin rapidly in place. And after about 2 minutes of this, she comes back to you and says, well, this creature was certainly of an unusual origin, perhaps otherworldly. But yes, I think its blood might make an excellent poison of some kind. It also, perhaps... Now that I think about it, would you mind if I have this for a little while?
The container is yours.
Oh, quite right.
You can charge me for the health potion, so feel free.
Oh.
I have no use for it.
Well, good for me. Glad I lent you things. I completely forgot. Yes, I have an idea about using this to make some sort of ward against, darker creatures and their magics. Give me some time. I'll see what I can do with this.
Gorm nods and then turns to leave. And leaves.
You hear
everyone.
You hear as you leave Tila say, "Goodbye, Gorm. I hope that you find well in your travels, given your difficulties."
And Bramble had stayed outside because he knows Gorm was with the group, and he wants to run in really quickly. My lady, I just wanted to say you have a lovely shop. I wanted to thank you because this reminds me of my father's shop back at home. And then I bow and turn around to walk out.
Oh, well, you're very welcome, and the same to you. You have reminded me of home, and that brought me joy as well. Take care, and be careful with them. They get into danger quite often.
Will do, my lady. And then I walk out and catch up with the group.
All right. So, you all, as you catch up together and come back, to speed things along, find your way back to the mayor's office. And once you are there, and she sees you again, she thanks you open-armedly, and Captain Wayron is there, and she congratulates you both and promises you all medals and accolades. And she says, and I have just the idea. It's been quite some while since we've had new champions, and so I'm going to name you Champions of Zagahta, and we'll add your name to the Fountain of Heroes, just as the Crimson Forces names was put there. And she goes on, she says, and tomorrow I plan on having a parade in your honor, and we'll have everyone there so they can thank you, and I'll see what I can do about raising funds, and just goes on and on and on about different ways that she's going to thank you and praise you. Eventually, I assume you tell her some of your concerns, the things that you've been thinking about, some things that she might need to know moving forward. To which she and Wayron listen to you and take in your advice, and they begin seeing what they can do to prepare for things that are changing. After this, however, you are free to do as you like. And after the initial things are over, with the Scorpion Festival, which was quite forgotten during the men's activities, is brought back and the winners are announced. Unfortunately for you, your Scorpion was not the largest. that honor, in fact, actually went to a group of people that Gorm is familiar with, familiar lizard folk and his younger proteges. But you're not quite that upset about it, as you got the feeling that he was probably going to win this anyway, being as how wise and gifted he was when you first met him. But you did come close. You did come second. Yours was the second biggest, which you feel pretty proud of. For your scorpion kill, each of the bodies, which I believe you have 3.
That sounds right.
You gain 100 gold for each of them.
100 gold each?
100 gold?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a lot of gold.
100
Wow,
gold
we need to go
for-
back out there and get more scorpions.
So 100 gold for Airy, 100 gold for Gorm, 100 gold for
I
Vinda.
think
I
we
killed
can
two
make
of
that
them.
during
First
the
scorpion.
festival.
So 300 gold total to split among everybody.
Yes. You could choose to include Bramble in that or not. Your choice. You'll likely need to split that with Olaf, however. As he reminds you, he was very much a part of helping you get these things.
Yes, of course.
I feel like Olaf would protest Bramble getting money for that.
He might.
I take a third of the cut because I killed most of the scorpions.
However you choose. However you choose to divide it up. You guys divide up the money. And eventually head back to the Crimson Force Tavern. Which, after having a long conversation with Gorm, Olaf comes to you all. And he tells you that he is leaving the party. He says to you that his map is calling him to Quester, and since the last time that he led you all into following something on that map, a lot of you nearly died, and he can't risk that again. So he's decided to seek his fortunes on his own, deciding it's too dangerous for you, and especially his brother, to come with him. But he assures you that he will find his way back to you and to come visit him in Quester. Gorm, I'm sure you protest.
Oh, listen. I think how it's going to go down is in a few days, Gorm's going to track him down and just not be visible to him. That's basically how that would work out.
So do you argue with him? Do you try and convince him to stay?
I don't need his permission to follow him.
No. But knowing who you are, Olaf stays for about a week and then out of the blue just leaves. Leaving naught but a note telling you that he's appreciated you and that he hopes one day you won't have to hide who you are. And that he's appreciated that your protection, but he feels like if he's ever going to be the kind of person who doesn't need protection anymore, he's got to do this on his own. He also asks you to stay with them as he believes that they need you more than he does, citing that there's been that, especially on your travel through Zagahta, through the desert, on the Scorpion Festival hunt, he realized just how good of a tracker you were and how good of a hunter you were, and that this is you're really in your element, and that you should stay here and you should become better. But he doesn't really see how he contributes to this. So you can do with that what you will. And with this, we are going to leave it here for tonight. But the next time we pick up, which I believe will be in 3 weeks, a month will have passed in game, and you will all need to message me and talk to me and tell me what you did during that month's period. Because when we pick up, like I said, we will pick up after a month from today.
Alright, so concludes another evening of Fantasy Age and the Chronicles of Arcanus. I do believe we have a couple other things to discuss later as well, but that is later and nobody gets to see that. Those of you who join us in on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and from all the players here, we wish you all a good night and God bless.